Well, just like so many industries, the music industry has become increasingly woke, but a new record label aims to promote traditional music values and resist the influence of political correctness. It's called Baste Records. Take a look.
The music industry is incredibly woke and everybody is an activist, but there's still a large percentage of conservatives in the industry. They're just kind of hiding.
There's more of us out there than the other side thinks.
And they're afraid to speak out because they don't want to be canceled. They don't want to be uninvited to the Grammys, and they don't want to get on a blacklist.
I listen to a lot of music I don't agree with, but it never makes me furious. These days, it's not that way anymore. There's no middle ground.
Social contagions and anger are omnipresent. It's like a storm.
Isn't music kind of like the last bastion of free speech? Like we should be able to say whatever we want to say? Isn't that what the counterculture was in the 60s?
And joining me now to talk more about this is Chris Wallin, one of Nashville's most sought-after songwriters and the head of A&R and Creative of Baste Records, basically finding new talent. Chris, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So you have worked with some big stars. Tell us about some of them and how this idea of Baste Records just came to life.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've written songs by Kenny Chesney and Garth Brooks, and the list goes on. I've been doing it for 20-something years, but really, Baste Records was born out of necessity, in my opinion, and the need for a counterculture against cancel culture in the music business. We kind of got together and realized that pretty soon they're going to try to cancel you if you say the word God, or if God forbid you call a woman or a man a man. And we just want to kind of set things right and give these people a place to go to find quality music and quality merchandise and not feel like a pariah.
Yeah, I like what you said. Counterculture against cancel culture. You've been in this industry for many, many years. What has been the biggest complaint that you're hearing from artists right now?
Well, just not being able to get their music out there. I mean, they can go online, and there's a lot of great people out there that are doing that are going out and just going directly to the people. But it's getting harder and harder to find someone, a record label, that will let you be authentic if you're a conservative or if you think a certain way. It's almost impossible for someone like that to get a record deal unless they already had a record deal before. You see that, but nowadays it's, we just want to make a home for those people and let them know that they're not alone, and there's a place for them here.
Let me ask you this. Speaking of the woke music industry, there have been numerous problems reported recently. Ticket scalping, price gouging. Also, many venues embrace the COVID lockdowns, mask, vaccine mandates, forcing many artists to get the vaccine or unable to play, right? What are you hearing from artists on that perspective of all of this?
Well, I'll be honest with you. There are artists, and I think my buddy John Rich said this, but it is very true that there are people out there that there are artists that their manager made them get rid of people because of they've lost their livelihood because their guitar player wouldn't take the jab or anything like that. And what I want to ask is, where are the rock stars that were so anti-establishment? That, we're in one of the most invasive administrations that has ever been in the last, 30, 40 years. So where are those people? And I can answer my own question. They're already out there. It's Kid Rock. It's Aaron Lewis. It's John Rich. It's Tom McDonald. All those guys are fighting against that. And more power to them, because we're kind of like the anti-label label.
The anti-label label. But I mean, the artists that you just named, it's a handful, really. I mean, there's a lot more who feel the same way, but they're afraid to come out because they're afraid of, losing their livelihood. How do you think that Baste Records will actually change the landscape? I mean, you're waking people up.
Yes, and I think that, what we want to do is we want to build an infrastructure of freedom-minded companies and individuals from touring all the way to high-end media appearances. And we want to bring quality music into the ideology space, because a lot of people, what they do is they have the ideology and then they go and the production and the songwriting, the craft of songwriting comes second and third. We would just want to make great music first that just happens to have traditional values, and that's a big difference.
Chris, when you meet artists who say, look, I've had enough of this woke industry, and they find someone like you, do they feel liberated because now they get to work with like-minded people, they get to be creative, they believe in freedom of speech, artists who share their same values? What are they saying when they finally find you?
We're getting, when I first started this, like I said, I've been in the music business for 20-something years, and I was a little worried when I first started of, oh my gosh, am I going to end up canceled after all this? But there's been so many people that have been contacting us and letting us know, and artists contacting us saying, thank God there's someone that is going to help elevate the things that I'm doing. And they don't get that nowadays. It's actually, people have been, as you know, people have been squashed because of that and try to get canceled. And it's ridiculous. And I really think we can make a big wave. I always say, there's a big wave coming. It's not a red wave or a blue wave. It's a sound wave.
Yeah.
And we will be behind it.
I think a lot of people are waking up and seeing, and it's good to see that you guys have a place for those people. Chris Wallin, good luck to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.